answers. Easter seals today.
Hello. Thank you for joining us today on Easter Seals Today. I'm Carol Galt, and we have with us today Crystal Balentine and Charlie Katterjohn, and we're going to talk about the 55th Telethon of Stars. I couldn't get it out there for a moment. That's a little tongue twister. So thank you all for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Let's talk about your roles and just jump right into it. Crystal, I understand you're the Lions Club chair this year?
I am. Each year, the Lions Club is set up kind of just like any organization as far as ranks. You know, we have a president and then a first, second, and third vice president. And the first vice president gets the job of chairing the telethon each year. So that is my job this year. And then next year I'll be president of the club. So it's kind of nice. You know when you're selected as third vice, you can kind of count down and you know what year you're going to be responsible for the telethon.
So you can kind of get your arms around it,
you
so
can.
to speak.
Absolutely.
And then Charlie, I understand you're responsible for the talent.
Yes, I am the producer of the talent, and actually what that involves is getting all of the headliners signed up and all of the information that they need in order to appear on the telethon, make sure they get here on time, and they're at all the functions. We have a couple of days full of telethon events, and we need to let them know where they're supposed to be when. They have Lions Club escorts, as always, and these people help them find out where they're supposed to be at specific times. So my job is securing the headline talent, also some of the local and area talent with Kenny Jones, who also is securing some of the talent for the early morning hours and the gospel section. So that's our jobs.
All right. Now, how long have you done that?
Well, I've been involved with the telethon since 1972, and I was executive producer for about 5 years, and then I retired from that job, and they said, no, we need to have you as our talent producer, so please stay on and help us, because it can get a little bit hairy with all of the name talent that we have.
Right, right. I knew there was a long history there, and I guess we'll get into that a little bit more. So tell us about how many venues the telethon uses, and let's talk a little bit more about that.
Well, over the years, we've kind of gone from different place to different place, right, Charlie? I believe we started out at the television station with the very first telethon back in 1957. And then we spent some time at the showroom lounge at the E, and then in the expo center there. And then I guess this is going to be our third year at the Carson Center?
Fourth year.
Fourth year at the Carson Center. So we've kind of moved around. Have I missed any of them?
I believe you got them. We did have a big tent at the TV station as well because we outgrew the studio. So we had to have some other place for all of the audience, the public, to come and make their donations and see the talent and sign autographs. So we had the big tent. And it was cold certain times because we had big heaters, and but there were a lot of people that came there, and so that's why we had to make the tent.
And it's traditionally always held in November.
It started out actually, I believe, in September when I went back and read some of the history, but I can't remember exactly what year it was, but they did, and then it's been set the second weekend in November since then.
So we all know that goal is to raise money. So let's talk just a little bit about that, how much money is raised, how it's distributed, how it's allocated, and you decide who goes what to whom and where.
We have a lot of corporate sponsors, which would be our companies within our communities. That would be both Southern Illinois, Southeast Missouri, Northwest Tennessee, and here in Western Kentucky, who do payroll deduction. That is a huge amount of what comes in for the telethon. Those corporate partners come and participate during the weekend and give their donations on the air and get that recognition for that. And I think there's a lot of pride from the employees that get to do that. Over the years, I think it's safe to say that we have seen a reduction in that dollar, whether it be people that have been laid off or companies that have been shut down. So we are going to try to revitalize that over the next couple of years and really look for some more corporate partners to be involved with us. But then we also have a very strong following from local clubs, local Lions clubs, and then also church groups, and then just individuals that give. Our good friends, the Lone Oak Lions Club, always sets up a roadblock every year, the weekend of the telethon, and they've raised a lot of money to help us with that. So this year we've really been reaching out saying, you know, you're not too small. Every donation is very important, and I know that these communities can tie together and really support the telethon from that. And then as the donations come in, it's allocated for which state they want their donation to go to. So for instance, some of our companies may have employees that live both in Kentucky or live in Illinois, and so when they send our donations in, they let us know to which state that goes to. And then our Lions Club secretary has a very detailed tracking sheet. So for every single donation that comes in, every deposit that's made, it's separated out by each state. Have I missed any?
Well, one of the things too, Carol, that I think is very interesting is that when we go off the air, we may, let's say, raise $500,000 off air donations, but actually the donation lines are kept open until the end of January. And by the time the end of January rolls around, normally we're upper $500,000, $600,000. So a lot more money comes in after the telethon goes off the air than what you may normally see on the air.
I don't know that the general public probably really understands that.
Well, that may be true because, you know, they go off the air and you always say, well, we've got $494,000. And yet when we make the donations, distribute them to the centers, we're looking, it's like $590,000 or $600,000. So
Wow.
that additional money does come in at that period of time. And all of our talent gives on-air pledges to be sure and send in your money. And I think that sort of triggers everyone in the audience to say, you know, this is a good deal, a good cause, and we'll go ahead and, although we didn't do it on the air, we'll donate now. Because some people like to remain anonymous. They, you know, they'll donate without actually wanting their names on the air.
Right.
So that works real well for us.
I was going to say, so if someone's watching the telethon and think, gosh, you know, I could have done a fundraiser for this, or I could do, just because it's the telethon weekend doesn't mean it's too late. They can still do something, and anything collected through the end of January goes to the centers for that year, and it counts toward that telethon.
So that's great to know. That's good information. And so they can just go ahead and contact their Lions Club and send those dollars in.
Absolutely.
Now, where are we in money this year? We will be at the telethon. We will get how many millions?
We will be over the $23 million mark this year.
23 million for 55 years.
55 years.
That's an incredible amount of money.
It's probably the largest, as we can determine, the largest locally produced telethon in the United States. The longest running locally produced telethon. So Louisville has one, but I don't think it's locally produced. It has been locally in the past, but I think now it is produced by a company, a production company.
And it takes an enormous amount of volunteers, I know, to do that.
Yes, it does.
It takes all hands on deck, and I'm sure as soon as it's over, you start preparing for the next one.
Oh, yeah.
So you have Lions Clubs from all around that come in to help volunteer.
We do.
Where do you get your sources of volunteers?
Okay. We have, even though I am the chairperson for this year, we have several committees. And, you know, we've been doing this for a long time. So a lot of the people that are chair people of our committees have maybe worked 20, 30 or more telethons. So it's one of those things that, even though it takes a lot of people, we've been doing it for so long that it kind of just works. But we have volunteers. We have people call us, and if anyone would like to volunteer, they can contact the Lions Club number in the book for the Lions Club or the Easter Seal Center, and they will be redirected to me. But we have people that might have nursing programs that call and say, you know, we want to volunteer our time. We have Mid-Continent University has sent students, I think, to help in the past. My employer, F&B Bank, encourages their employees to participate in community activities, so we reward our employees with points for doing that, and we usually get a lot of volunteers for that. But we need people to help in the phone room that answers the call and takes the people's donations. We need people to help with what's called the bullpen, which is where when corporate partners come in, or individuals or churches come in to make their donations on the air, the bullpen helps shuffle them back behind stage and get them online. Live TV, you know, they got to be on time. We have lots of other places that people can volunteer. Businesses can donate food for the food room because we have to provide food for all the stars that are there. So there's lots of opportunities to volunteer. So anybody, I mean, we encourage anybody that wants to help, give us a call and we will find a place to put you.
And the Lions Club number is in the book.
It is.
Or they can call the Easter Seals number either way.
Absolutely, because our secretary actually has an office there at the Easter Seal Center, so they can.
And there's also contact information on the telethon website. under, I think it's contacts.
It is.
Where you can find individual names like Crystal.
And my email address is there, and as well as
Bob
yours.
Crosno, who's the executive producer of the telethon, Kenny Jones, who is also an associate like myself. So there's information on the telethon website that they can get or contact people that if they want to volunteer or if they wanted to make donations or help in any way, they can do that.
Okay, all right. So there's lots of opportunities and lots of ways to be in contact.
Absolutely.
And we need the help,
Okay,
really.
all right, all right. That's good to know. That's really good to know. Now, you've mentioned being produced 2 or 3 different times, and you talked about a national company. Let's talk just a little bit about what goes into producing this telethon.
Well, what happens is the TV station, primarily, the employees volunteer for floor duty, floor directors, talent runners, people that are directors, Chiron operators that put the titles on the screen, people out at the TV run the cameras. We have John Perry comes in from Nashville who has a jib camera. He is really renowned because he does Steadicam on American Idol, Dancing with the Stars, a number. So he comes to Paducah. He's from Lone Oak originally. So he comes in and brings his jib camera, which is the big tall on the boom, and gets all the shots. So we have a number of people that volunteer from the TV station, and also people who come in from outside that actually help our audio people and our lighting people. So we have a lot of people there, and that planning really starts after this telethon is over with, because we want to make sure they have the dates on their calendar of the telethon for the next year, and we want to make sure they're going to be available, and if there's any surprises in equipment. So, and we have a truck that actually comes in, a live truck that comes in from Stokes from Nashville, who actually provides the on-air video to the TV station. So they're out down at the Carson Center with their equipment and everything. So it's a big operation in putting it together. And it takes a lot of folks and a lot of dedicated volunteers to make it happen.
But each one of them know their job. They've got it down. They've got it taken care of. So as a volunteer, I don't have to worry about any of that. All that's done, taken care of, and I come in and somebody will be right there to tell me what to do.
We hope so.
And done.
We hope so, don't we, Kristen? Because, you know, this is a partnership between the Lions and the TV station because we're co-sponsors.
Right, right.
So therefore, you know, we may need some of the Lions to do some of the functions that that might be a technical issue with our people, and vice versa, because
Right.
we do running for, we have a phone bank, and we try to get our talent up to the phone bank, and we have volunteers that assist in making that transfer, getting them food, getting them water. So it's really a big operation, takes a lot of planning.
Right. Okay, all right. Well, I think we're going to take a break now, and then we'll join right back up. But in the break, I think that we're going to have an opportunity to look at a video. And I think, Mr. Katterjohn, if you'll just take us to that break and describe the video. I believe it's of Eric Horner,
Right.
a song.
I think we're going to do it after we get through with the break, and it will be the song that he wrote especially for the telethon.
Okay.
And was edited by Mike Spissinger, a photographer, the chief photographer at Channel 6.
Okay, all right. Well, please join us in just a few minutes, and we'll see you right after the break. Thank you.
first time I ever saw your face, you'd be someone that I would like to know. The happiness that danced and twinkled in your eyes moved my heart and touched my very soul. out on a journey, and we began to learn that we enjoyed each other's company. You've given me far more than you've gotten in return. You've blessed me more than you will ever see. So no matter where the road may lead, you can always count on me, and I know I can always count on you. For a smile and a great big hug, we're bound together by God's love. And if there's one thing that I know is true, we'll be together till the very end. 'Cause through the years we'll always be friends.
Yes, I can.
Let me hear it.
The Bible says a good friend loveth at all times. For you and I, that's really nothing new. 'Cause rarely does a day pass when you don't cross my mind. And I know that it's the very same for you. So no matter where the road may lead, you can always count on me. And I know I can always count on you. For a smile and a great big hug, we're bound together by God's love. And if there's one thing that I know is true, we'll be together till the very end. 'Cause through the years we'll always be friends. We'll be together till the very end. 'Cause through the years we'll always be friends.
Got it. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back and joining us. Well, that was a great video.
Wonderful.
You know, at one of the meetings that we had at the Carson Center, Eric played the guitar and was singing for us, and he said, I've got a new song just for the kids in the Easter Seal Center. And so he said, I'd like to sing it. So he sang the song, and immediately after he sang the song, we said, look, we've got to have that as our video, featured video this year. And so he produced it with all of the instrumentals, and then Mike said, okay, I'm going to do the video. He shot the video, edited the video, and voila.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, it is.
It's fabulous.
Really.
It's so nice. Well, can you give us a sneak peek of the talent that will be there?
Okay, well, in 45 days from today, we have a countdown on our website. Crystal, the countdown's on the website.
It's there.
45
Unfortunately.
days, and we will have the telethon will begin on Saturday, 2 days of events. We actually start with a talent orientation at noon on Saturday. That lasts for about 30 minutes. Then we have sound checks and the kids party, which is at the Julian Carroll Convention Center. And there's where all of the talent goes, and everybody signs autographs for all of the clients of all the 4 centers. And there's about how many people?
We plan for 500 people.
500
It
people.
is
It is huge.
it's
Wow.
wonderful.
And but anyway, and then we obviously they are free for a while. We have a major donor party at the Carson Center, and after that we have a break a leg party, which is a little mini meeting that we have prior to going on the air at 10 o'clock, and then the show begins. So 2 days of activities, 15-hour telethon, and really everybody should tune in. Actually, come down. It's free, plenty of free parking, and there's no excuse for no one not coming down and seeing the show. Every year we have our stars, which include our clients and the poster clients. And this year we're going to show you their pictures from CDS in Tennessee, our adult representative, and that's Clarissa Wyatt, and she's from Union City. And from Southern Illinois, from the TLC Center in Southern Illinois, the youth representative is Landon Gabby, and he resides in rural Williamson County. And from Easter Seals, West Kentucky, our adult representative, who is Ryan Leslie, who attends the Easter Seals West Kentucky Adult Daycare Center. And so those are our poster people that are on the posters and on the flyers this year, and next year we'll have a new group of folks to represent. And now for our headliners.
Okay.
Our headliners are the people that actually provide the talent. We have a number of those, and we will start with Lew Jetton and 61 South. Lew has been at the telethon for years, and they're a great blues band from Western Kentucky and actually very well known throughout the South. Also returning this year, another local person, Lew's local, is Reggie LaFaye. He is affectionately known as Mr. Gospel Sax, and Reggie was on in Las Vegas for years. He does still tour, and he is a great musician. He can actually play the two saxes that you see there at the same time,
wow.
which is remarkable. And then we have Eric Horner, who you heard on the music video we just saw. He's a songwriter and singer of gospel and patriotic music. He also is from Paducah. He was with Lee Greenwood for a long time, also the Girls Next Door. I believe that's the name of the group in it, Girls Next Door. Anyway, but he's a local guy, and he will be there as well. Also, Terry Mike Jeffrey. Terry Mike has been with the telethon a number of years. He is an Emmy-nominated songwriter, entertainer, and he plays a number of instruments. He is very versatile, and his wife Debbie is also in the band. Cherie Oakley is from Paducah, Kentucky. You might have seen Cherie on the premiere event from NBC, The Voice. She was actually eliminated by Christina Aguilera in favor of another artist who was on that show, and she got booted. So maybe if Cherie had been on there, well, she would have gotten on to the next level. Josh Williams, he is from Benton, Kentucky. Josh and his band will be there. By the way, he is nominated for the Male Vocalist of the Year at the IBMA. That's the International Bluegrass Musicians Association. That is tomorrow night. He was nominated with, I think, 4 or 5 other people, and we wish the best for Josh in his quest for that title. Also featured this year, he is a pianist. He's from Nashville. He is a well-known record producer in Nashville. He's worked for some of the older country talents in Nashville, but he's also the piano player for Reggie LaFaye. But Keith will be here with his piano. Actually, it's the Paducah Symphony's piano, but he will be playing that, and he's excellent. Also from NBC's Days of Our Lives, Shawn Christian, who plays Dr. Daniel Jonas. We have had 27 talents, cast members from Days of Our Lives during the telethon period. And they all, everyone clamors and wants to come back. So Daniel, or I say Daniel, I know him better as Daniel because I watched the show, obviously. But really, Shawn is looking forward to being here. He's an outstanding guy, a great personality. And returning again this year for their 7th telethon appearance, 5 guys, just their vocal cords, no instruments, ball in the house, a real big hit with everybody. They have 2 new members this year that we'll be meeting, and we're looking forward to seeing them back. And one of Nashville's newest talents, Laura Bell Bundy. She's born in Lexington, Kentucky, so she's a Kentucky girl. She's done it all. She appeared in Legally Blonde on Broadway as Elle Wood in the title role, and she was nominated for a Tony for that award. And she's recording for Mercury Records, and she'll be here with her band. They've got about 10 pieces in that, so it's going to be a big, big show. You'll want to see her. Plus, there's going to be a lot of outstanding local and musical talents, area talents, from 2 a.m. until 6 a.m. Then we have our gospel section from 6 a.m. until 9 a.m. And our MCs will be Scott McGee. Well, this is actually our alternate MCs during the night, and there you see them. I can't go through all their names. I know all of them, but it'd take too long. So, and then there is Scott and Jennifer, who are our primary MCs, which will start the show and conclude the show. And all of the information about all of the talent that you've seen, as well as the stars, the clients, and the MCs, are on the telethon website. There's bios out there, photographs and everything. So if the media is watching and they want to promote this, or some of the Lions Club, they can go to the web, there it is on the screen, telethonofstars.org, and get all the information they need to make this a great event. And remember, 45 days and counting, Crystal.
So it's going to be a fun-filled 15 hours.
Yes.
I believe you're on air for 15 hours.
15 solid hours, yes.
All right. Okay. Well, we're looking forward to it. And I believe we have just a few minutes here before we wrap up.
Okay.
And I think that one of the things I always find most amazing, you always have some great stories. So do you have a couple of memorable moments that you would like to share with the audience before we
Well, I'll
wrap
let her
up?
go first because she is the newest to the telethon, so she may have something that really stands out.
My favorite part of the telethon is the autograph party that we do for the children and the adults of the centers. Just to see the look on their faces, I mean, it's a party. Zonta puts on the party for them, and I mean, it is just a wonderful, wonderful event. And so you see what all your hard work and all your time, to see the look on their faces and the smiles and them having a good time, I mean, it makes it all worthwhile. And so that's my favorite part, is getting to see them every year. And they don't know the big talent from me or you. They might ask me or Charlie for our autograph, and so we put our autograph on there and go on. So it's a wonderful event.
That's great. What about you, Charlie?
Well, you know, the talent amazes me because in talking with the talent prior to the telethon, they have questions about, you know, what's going on, what should I do? They're not real sure. But once they're here, I get calls back, like Neil Boyd called me. Hey, do you need anybody at the telethon? Ricochet. Restless Heart. They all want to know if they can come back. So once they get here, they enjoy it. One of the most memorable things was Michael Landon. This has been a number of years ago. He was in the tape room watching the kids show. We used to have a kids show on the air in the studio. And Michael was watching that with his wife, and I looked over at him and a tear was coming down his cheek.
Right.
So these people are touched. They're human just like we are. And although they're big stars in some cases, in a lot of cases, they are touched by the story that the telethon offers for all of the centers in Western Kentucky. So that's very touching.
Well, thank you both for sharing.
Thank you.
All the information with us. And again, we want to invite everyone to come down. And 45 days,
45 days.
November the 12th.
November 12th.
And we would look forward to seeing everyone there. And again, thank you both for everything you do for the community and all the time that you put in with the Telethon of Stars.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
All right. And on behalf of Easter Seals Today, we thank you for joining us, and we'll see you here on next time. Thank you, and I'm Carol Galt. Goodbye.